Welcome to this comprehensive guide on what hardware you'll need to successfully connect Victron's VEConfigure software to your VE.Bus inverter charger, such as the MultiPlus or Quattro devices. Before continuing with this tutorial video, you'll need to first have VEConfig downloaded and installed on your Windows computer. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to check out my video on how to get everything installed before continuing here. I've popped a link to this video down in the description as well. With the software installation complete, it's time to connect the hardware components. There are two main items that you will need in order to connect your computer to your VE.Bus inverter. The first is an MK3 USB interface dongle, and the second is an RJ45 UTP cable. The MK3 is a VE.Bus to USB dongle with a circuit board inside. It acts as a bridge, allowing for communication between your inverter, which uses the VE.Bus protocol, and a USB port on your computer. The MK3 is essential for configuring the VE.Bus devices, updating their firmware, or monitoring the overall system performance. More information about this interface can be found on Victron Energy's website at the following link. The second piece of hardware you will need is an RJ45 UTP cable. UTP stands for Unshielded Twisted Pair. The structure of a UTP cable consists of pairs of wires twisted around each other, which helps to reduce electromagnetic interference, or EMI, from external sources and crosstalk between the adjacent pairs within the cable. However, when it comes to connecting devices, the arrangement of these wires at the end of the cable can be either straight through or crossover, depending on the application. Crossover cables have the receiving and transmitting wires crossed at one end of the cable, which allows for direct device-to-device connections, such as between two computers without a switch or hub. Straight-through cables have the wire connections on both ends of the cable matching exactly. This type of cable is typically used to connect a computer to a switch or hub. For Victron products, it is very important that only straight-through cables are used. This ensures a reliable data connection between the two devices. It is also not recommended to use hand-crimped cables, as they often give problems and are one of the main culprits of defective systems. While most industrially manufactured UTP cables will work, you can also buy the official blue Victron cable just to be sure. With the software installed and the hardware components ready, it's time to connect it all up. While remote changes are possible via the Victron Remote Management, or VRM, it's very important that upon initial site installation, a wired connection with the MK3 is used when first configuring the VE.Bus device. The first step is to connect the MK3 to your inverter. This is easily done by plugging one end of the UTP cable into the RJ45 socket of the MK3. Next, plug the other side of the UTP cable into one of the VE.Bus ports at the bottom of the inverter. Some devices such as the smaller MultiPlus only have one VE.Bus port, while larger inverters such as the MultiPlus-II have two bus ports. The VE.Bus ports are identical, so you can plug it into either one. It makes no difference. It's very important that you disconnect your GX device from the VE.Bus port of your inverter if it's currently connected. This is because having both the servo and the MK3 device connected at the same time while making changes to the settings of the inverter causes communication conflicts. The next step is connecting the other end of the MK3 to your computer. Depending on what USB port you have available, you can buy either the USB-A or C version of the MK3. While USB-C is the newer form factor, USB-A has been around for decades and offers better compatibility with any computer or older laptops. Whichever version you choose, simply plug it into your computer or laptop. Please note that the VE.Bus inverter or charger may need to reboot in order to apply certain changes made when configuring it. It's thus important to not have the computer be powered via the same inverter its VE.Bus is connected to, as the computer will then abruptly shut down when the inverter reboots. It's therefore best to connect the USB of the MK3 to a computer with a battery backup, such as a laptop, or a desktop computer with a separate AC or DC power source. This makes sure that it's being powered independently from the inverter during the configuration changes and won't be affected by the reboots. With everything connected and ready, it's time to jump back into the VEConfig software. Make sure to check out my next video where I'll guide you through how to properly connect the MK3 to VEConfigure as we further explore its interface. I will also show you how to activate a secret sandbox mode for tinkering around with the settings, even if you don't have a Victron VE.Bus device. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you've made it this far, I sincerely hope you have enjoyed the content and learned something new. If so, please leave a like and subscribe if you have, as well as to get notified of any future videos. Oh, and make sure to check out this video as well. You can also subscribe over here. And this one is pretty cool too. Lastly, don't forget to visit the Blue Power Pro forum.